Welcome, everybody, to the 12th episode of the Wedding Jigsaw podcast series. I'm Donald O'Neill, and as you know, the idea of the Wedding Jigsaw podcast is to let you get to know the personalities behind the various people who provide services for weddings. Now, today, I'd like to introduce you to a young man who's making waves in the music scene. I first met him at a gig I was doing quite a few years ago. At that stage, he was too young to have a driving license, so I met his dad as well. And it's fair to say that I was blown away when I heard him sing. Now, there are other great young singers in Northern Ireland, but this guy was actually singing the classics of swing. Now, most of the songs he was singing were in the charts before his dad was born, never mind him, and yet he was doing a fantastic job. He didn't just mechanically sing them, he was interpreting them and giving them his own personal twist. But anyway, that's enough from me. Let's hear from the rest from the man himself. I'd like to introduce you to Harry McGarrity. Harry, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Donald. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, it is my pleasure, Harry. Tell me, as I said here, I mean, you're a young guy, you're 21 years of age, and yet you're big into swing music. How did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, you know, you can't really call it. I don't know what happened. It touched me in more ways than one. You know, it wasn't like I was actively going out to find a genre of music that would go down well or something that would sell. It got hold of me, and it didn't want to let go. You know, none of my family like the music. Well, not that they don't like it. They hear me singing and they run out the door. No, it wouldn't be their genre. You know, my family grew up. Well, my dad listens. He's a big fan of the '70s sort of rock, Led Zeppelin, Elvis, which I love as well. But never did any of my family have a Frank Sinatra record or a Bobby Darin or Sammy Davis Jr. record in the house. So it was something that very much fell upon me, and it's something that I just fell in love with, really. But yeah, and over years it's evolved and it's progressed, and there's just something about the music that's so mature and classy and just well-rounded. It's, you know, whenever you listen to those songs, they tell a story, you know, and it's like, I listen to some stuff in the charts, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy some pop music, but most of it it sounds mass produced. It sounds, you know, like there's a record label that are putting this out to make money. I don't slate anybody for enjoying that kind of music. Everybody's got their taste, or for people that sing that music, you know, everyone's got their genre. Excuse me. But for me, I like music that has a bit of soul and a bit of story. And each time I listen to that kind of music or perform that kind of music, I retell that story and I relive that music. And when I listen to it, I'm there within that story, and it really does do something to me. And it wouldn't be anything my friends listen to, put it that way, but I listen to it whenever I'm by myself, and it takes me places, you know, and I think it's fantastic. Every part of it. I love it.
So, I mean, okay, you just said your family aren't into it. Your dad was into metal and so on, rock music. And so how did you actually end up, how did you get exposed to it to start with?
Do you know what it was? And I tell this story every time somebody asks this question. It was a certain movie, Beyond the Sea, it's called. And it's the story of Bobby Darin. Now he was one of the famous swing singers, Beyond the Sea, Dream Lover, all those classics. And that was Kevin Spacey that played him. Now he's not too fond at the minute, but he played him very, very well. And yeah, whenever I watched that film, it opened everything up, and it was like, my dad watched it with my dad, you know, and I said to my dad, what is that kind of music? And I was only about maybe 6 or 7 at the time. And he said, well, you know, it's swing, you know. So I listened to it, and I just, like I said, fell in love with it, and everything about it. You know, it was the horns, it was the strings, it was the suits, the tuxedos, it was everything. It was the time, you know, jazz and swing. It evolves from a jazz and swing. A jazz singer and a swing singer are two different people. A jazz singer would tell you that he's not a swing singer. I've yet to know what the difference are, but we'll go on. But if you go into the likes of Bert's Jazz Bar or whatever and say, you know, you're a jazz singer and you're a swing singer, you'll get a look. But you know, it all evolved from, you know, the type like Louisiana, when, you know, it was born in a dark room, and it evolved into something beautiful. And that's what I love about it. It was you know, it just how, like I said, it does something to me, and I love everything about it.
Yeah, I get that completely. I mean, I'm passionate about big bands, and that all came
Yeah.
from me as a child watching the Glenn Miller Story on TV.
Right. Yeah.
And discovering that I loved it.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, people, the odd time you get these stupid, what would you call them, surveys, your top 10 songs,
Sure.
and always, I can never come up with a number one because it depends what mood I'm in, as to
Well,
which
that's
one's
it.
number one.
Yeah.
But always in that 10 is String of Pearls by Glenn Miller, with total
Yeah.
instrumental. I defy anybody to sit still while that's playing. It's
Yeah.
just, it gets right into your pores and it moves you.
Absolutely.
So I get what you're saying completely about the swing. I must admit, I would disagree with people when they say that swing singers aren't jazz singers or jazz singers aren't swing singers.
Yeah.
I would probably say swing singers are a genre of jazz singer, because to me, I mean, Sinatra is a jazz singer, but he's the best swing singer ever, probably male swing singer, one of the greatest. Anyway, Billie Holiday is a wonderful swing singer, but totally unique. And a wonderful jazz singer. So to me, they mix and match. I don't see any reason why you have to separate them anyway.
No, well, that's it. It's those people that go through, with a fine-tooth comb, and they take things a bit, like, you got to treat your music with respect and appreciate it. But I think there's people that might take things a bit too seriously. Like, if you've seen the movie Whiplash, absolutely fantastic film, but there's a couple of people that go about Belfast that act in the same way, that take things too seriously. And the whole point of music is to enjoy it and to share it and to love it. And if people start to put others down for what they enjoy or what they want to do, it defies the whole purpose of it.
Oh, completely and utterly, totally agree with you there. So I mean, are people surprised when they hear a young fellow like you interpreting songs the way you do?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things where I can go down pretty much in every room. I can sing a song and somebody will be like, "Where'd that come from?" I've sang in venues before, and I've had people coming up and checking the microphone to see if it's on, and that's a true story. That's an absolute true story. Or people saying, "Is there a track playing?" They thought it was, people have said it, they thought it was Spotify or a CD playing or something, and I have to take that as a compliment. I really do. But yeah, a lot of people will say that they're surprised, and in a way, I'm pretty glad of that, because that kind of music is so personal to me, and I think it's probably the best music around. So if anybody says that I didn't expect that from you, well, then I take it as a compliment, because it's such a great genre of music.
Definitely, and it impresses you into their mind. I remember many years ago, I went to a gig in the Lyric of the Arts a long time ago. And it was the Hank Wangford band, right? Who were a fantastic, when I say parody, they were a parody, but they were also wonderful musicians, and they were sort of parodying country music, right?
Okay.
But country music also slightly went over into Western swing. You see,
okay.
I have this I used to play with him called Bobby Valentino, and Bobby Valentino was a fantastic fiddle player, really good, real great Western swing fiddle player. And he looked like Clark Gable, dark slick back hair and a wee pencil mustache, and he played away, and you thought he just fitted the bill perfectly. And then they decided they give him a song, and when he started to sing, he was a crooner. Nobody knew this, and he was a velvet crooner, and he blew everybody away. Nobody's expecting that to come out of his mouth, and I would say you have the same effect on people. It's brilliant. I've watched the audience when you've been playing, and the reaction's great.
I enjoy it, and it's something I've missed, and it's something that I'm so glad to get back into. It's just watching the audience's reaction. Some of them good, some of them bad. Like sometimes I'll be singing, and I like to go around the space in the room and stuff like that, and I always tend to pick out the ones that don't want me there, that I come up with a microphone, you can see they're looking at me and they're like, don't come near me, don't come near me, but I make sure to get near them. And I was actually chatting with my sound technician today there. He was we were doing a gig there last 2 days ago, Saturday, and he said that there was a woman and she had this look on her face and she just wasn't enjoying the day. Maybe it's because it was so hot. Probably that was the case. It was the hottest day recorded. So probably something to do with that. Who knows? But she had this look on her face like she wasn't enjoying herself. So maybe in me, I went right over to her and I was embarrassing her. I was keeping her going, singing the songs. And Ross, sound guy, he said, by the time you left her, she had a massive smile on her face, and she kept that smile on her face for the entire time that I was there. And that's what it's all about, really, and that's what really matters. Because if you have to think as well of the bride and groom, that they're inviting these people and they're spending a lot of money on the guest being there, and if they're not enjoying themselves, then it's not nice, and that's why I like to come in and make sure that every person there is having a good time, and it reflects because I'm having a good time. So if I'm enjoying myself, chances are, people are going to enjoy themselves too.
I totally get that. I get that as well. Whenever I'm doing the hypnotic shows, if I'm not laughing, it's not as good as it should be. When it's a good show, I'm falling about the place.
Well, that's it.
Funny, the last couple of times I've seen you, it's quite a while ago since I've seen you. And back then, two things came. Number one, you were younger than you are now with a lot less experience. And number two, you probably, I don't know whether it was restricted equipment or not, but I don't remember you walking about so much. So is this something you've developed over the last few years? The audience,
big time. It's probably something to do with, developing confidence, seeing what works and just having more fun with it. It's you can stand up on a stage and you can sing your songs, you can just get by, really, or you can go into a room and you can change the whole atmosphere and you can really get people to remember you because they've had such a good time. So I'll go in, I'll go around the tables, I'll jump on chairs, I'll sit in your granny's knee, I'll do whatever I can to make sure that people are having a good time, and it really works because what it does, it just breaks that whole tension. I'm not saying that there's death silence, but you go in and if somebody's running about the place making an idiot of themselves, singing That's Amore or whatever, people are going to be smiling, people are going to be laughing and having a good time. So that's something I've done. Probably in the past sort of 3-4 years. I remember that gig. I was whenever you were there, I think I walked around the room a bit, but I was probably still just touching on a bit of nerves. Whether it was because I was a good bit younger than I am now, and that was, there was a good few people there as well, so it was probably something to do with nerves. But yeah, now I don't care. I'll do it. Whoever's there, how many people, I'll make sure to get around.
That's the sort of confidence that experience gives you, which is great. So, in the wedding situation,
yes,
I'm guessing, but you can confirm or deny this. I'm guessing you ideally fit in the afternoon more than the evening. I mean, whenever the bride and groom are maybe getting their photographs taken because people are getting bored or so on. But am I right? Or
yeah, absolutely. So I have tried to sort of find a way that I can get into any part of the day, so whether it's afternoon or evening. So before, I was very much wedding reception, as you say. I was singing whenever the bride and groom were getting their photos done. So you've got that 2-hour slot. Whenever you're talking about an hour and a half for photos, and then the bride and groom are back for half an hour, and that's whenever I sing, for a half hour to the bride and groom as well. So for the hour and a half, I'm singing to the guests. But what I found is that I don't enjoy it just as much as the evening, because I'm first and foremost a showman. I like to put on a show. I like to have the lights. I like to have the big sound. I like to have everyone going. So I tried to develop a way to get later on in the evening, and I came up with a solution. And this was probably about 2 years ago. yeah, 2 years ago, but obviously with COVID, I didn't really get to trial it just as much. But I devised a half-hour slot. Now that's just after the desserts. So it's when people have had their food, they're a bit more relaxed, maybe the bow ties, the ties are coming down, people have had a bit of a drink. And I go in for half an hour and I sing every classic under the sun. So as much as I can get into half an hour anyway. So I'll do your Sweet Caroline, I'll do your Proud Mary, I'll do your That's Amore, New York, New York. I've even tried to throw in a bit more of modern, well, bring it forward a couple of years. You got ABBA, all those ones, so that people are really enjoying themselves. And do you know what it does? It just really kicks everything off for the rest of the night. People have had their dinner, they're ready to party, but they don't really know if they should or not yet. And I go in and I make sure that they are. That I get, like I said, I go around the tables, I get up on the chairs if they let me. I just make sure to get everyone going, and people really appreciate it and they really enjoy it. And I've done that now, and I had I've been doing it for a while, but I had my first wedding of it last Saturday, and it went down a treat. Went down really, really well. But like I said, I've been doing the half-hour slots in different like corporate events, parties, what do you call them? Award ceremonies, those kind of things. I've been doing that sort of 20-minute to half-hour slot for a long time. But I had my first wedding last Saturday, and yeah, there wasn't one person that didn't enjoy it. Well, that I know of anyway,
Fair enough. And are you still basically using backing music tracks?
Yeah, well, I use the tracks where I can. So like I said, I've got a sound guy that comes with me now, and he cues all the tracks for me. So he brings the laptop and he helps me set everything up. So I've got the big sound, and I've got a lighting truss. So I've got sort of 6 lamps that face outward, and like I said, it's about a half-hour slot, and he cues everything. So it means that I'm not running back to the laptop and disengaging with the audience. So it means that I'm right there with you, and we've written the set list beforehand, so I know every song that's going to come up, and he obviously knows them too. So he just presses play, and we just run the show, and it means that I'm right there with everyone for the full half hour, and it goes down pretty well.
Excellent, that's brilliant, very, very good. Now, now you mentioned you've done lots of other things, corporate stuff and ceremonies and all the rest of it. I also know, because I've seen you on Facebook and so on, you've done quite a bit of charity stuff over the last couple of years as well. Mainly at the start of COVID, I remember seeing you setting up in a garden at an old people's home outside.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, the whole point of, like I said, like I touched on before, music's about giving back and sharing with people, and it's anybody that says that this isn't the greatest job in the world is lying, and if anybody says that it is a job, they're lying, because it's not a job. We're all so blessed and privileged to be able to do this, to entertain people, and get paid for it. So why would you not do it and give back a bit? So yeah, you're right, Donal. I did, over lockdown, I sang at about 35 nursing homes across Northern Ireland, absolutely for free. So I was at one stage, I was probably doing about 3 a week, because it was whenever things were sort of eased a bit. But what else was I doing? I was sitting in the house. I was singing about the house. So why would I not go and sing for some folks that really appreciate it? And they did. They really, really appreciated it, because the music I was singing, it touched them, because that was the music they grew up with, so it took them back to their younger years. And some of them, very sadly, maybe be suffering with dementia or Alzheimer's. And one of the most beautiful things about music is it takes them back, where they may not remember, very sadly, they may not remember their children's names, but they'll remember a song that they listened to when they were 21. And that's one of the most beautiful things about music, and you can see that they appreciate that, and they sing along, and it really touches me. So that's why I do it, and I do not charge a penny for it. And it just seeing them smiling and them enjoying it is more payment than I could ever receive.
I get that. It's
Yeah.
very, very commendable. I think that's an excellent thing. And the way that music does, I mean, the way it can reach people, as you rightly say, who are having reaching reality, but music in there and touch the parts of the brain that have been lying dormant, waiting for the music. You know, there's been so many documented instances of that, of people who were maybe didn't communicate at all, but when they heard a tune that back, all of a sudden they more or less came alive again, which is brilliant.
Of course.
I think it's a fantastic thing you've been doing. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Really, really, really.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, in terms of other sort of charity work that I'm doing at the minute, I've actually got a show which, my goodness, has been in the works for 2 years now. I originally had the idea of putting on this show back in January 2019, and I was doing a gig, and I was in some dive. I can't even remember where it was, but there was about 20 people there, and about 5 people were listening, and which, you know, happens. Fair enough, that's grand. But I came out afterwards, and I was slightly underwhelmed, you know. So I said to myself, I need to put on a show. I need to put on a big all singing, all dancing show. But I don't, you know, I don't necessarily want to get paid for it. I want to do it for a reason and a cause. So I got chatting with a couple of people, and we got thinking about it, about a worthy cause, a worthy charity, and we decided to do it for mental health.
Brilliant.
And we picked a charity called Emerge Counselling Services. Now they're based in Lisburn. Samantha Evans looks after that. She's the founder of it, and what an amazing person. She looks after that place. They're open 7 days a week, and they do everything voluntarily. Now I met Samantha back in October of 2019, I believe. No, yeah, October 2019 I met her, and we hit it off, and she told me her story and her background of mental health and that kind of thing. And at the time, they had only been operating for about 8 months. So they're very, very young, and they only had about 12 staff, all volunteers. Now, I went and met Samantha again for coffee there about a month ago. They've traded up now to 50 staff, all volunteers, and they're doing some amazing work, all for people that are suffering with their mental health. I'm sure you're very much aware that over lockdown, people's mental health suffered tremendously, really, really badly. So having services like Emerge out there, you know, is vital. It's not one of these things that can come and go. It is essential. And the fact that these people are doing this and not getting a single penny for it is the work of, they're just complete angels. So this is why, you know, this show has suffered, because it was supposed to happen last September, and of course 2020 last September everyone was in panic, so it didn't happen, and then it was pushed again to November, and now it's been pushed again to November of this year, and it's happening on the 6th of November, and it will happen, because I want to do.
What sort of show is it?
So it's it's a dinner and a show, and it'll be in the Stormont Hotel in Belfast. Now, originally it was supposed to be in the Europa, but obviously with everything going on, it's been postponed, so we couldn't get the Europa again. But the Stormont Hotel, and what a place! Stormont Hotel is a fantastic venue. So we'll be there on the 6th of November, and it's a full show. So you got your drinks reception, 3-course meal, and then obviously the 2-hour show. We've also got Joel Mawhinney from TikTok. He's a magician as well. Yeah, he'll be there for he'll be doing a warm-up set. Yeah, he's fantastic. So in terms of the show, it'll be pretty much your sort of soul classics, your swing, everything will be in there, and I've got a full band with me for that one. Yeah, so the full band that we've been practicing for a long time now. So yeah, we're gonna be there, and it's gonna be some night, and every penny raised from the show will be donated strictly to Emerge. And like I said, the volunteers from Emerge, they like I said, they don't get a penny. So every every drop of money that's donated on the night goes to keeping their lights on. So it's not going into anybody's pocket. It's strictly to make sure that Emerge stay and do the amazing work that they're doing for so many people.
And you said that's the 6th of November, you said, yes?
Yeah, the 6th of November, yeah.
Saturday night. I'm just checking my wall planner here. It's a Saturday night. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Of course, just for the benefit for anybody who's listening to this in 3 years' time, that was the 6th of November 2021, right?
That's the one, yeah.
This broadcast will be up there ad infinitum. But hopefully, I think it should be a sellout with a bit of luck. What sort of numbers can you expect?
Well, at the minute we've already sold 120 tickets.
Wow. What's your capacity?
Yeah, 200. Ooh. So we're almost there. We've got a few more things lined up to push it. Obviously we sort of have to remarket it now because we've sort of laid it down after COVID, and we just need to pick it back up and just throw it in as many people's faces as possible. Yes. We just want to get it pushed, and we want it to be a sellout. We've got a good bit of time, and we've got a few more sneaky ideas to make sure people know about it. And yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait for it.
Well, I know this is your bag, but I will add at this point, if anybody hasn't seen Joel Mahoney, you're missing a star. You can see Joel as well.
Oh my goodness.
Fantastic. He's a great, another young fellow as well, too.
He's terrific. I met Joel. He's a good friend of mine now, but we met way back 4 or 5 years ago. We were doing a show together, and it was actually another mental health fundraiser, and we just hit it off. We both had the sort of same goals, same values, and you know, it was really refreshing to get chatting to somebody who has the same hunger and the same drive. So yeah, stayed friends, and he's very kindly doing the show for me. And I can't wait to have him. Oh, yeah. It's going to be great.
It'll be great. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, listen, getting back to you and weddings. Okay, so now you're basically telling me that you have two packages now. You have a package which can do the afternoon, which is the one, the sort of more traditional one, and now you have the new sort of half hour, hit them hard and really get
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. So what way do you, how are you pricing those, Harry? How do they come in, or where do they come in price-wise?
In terms of pricing, so for the half-hour set, you're looking at $250.
Okay.
£250 for the half-hour set. And like I said, that comes with me. That's kind of part and parcel, but yeah. So you got me singing for the half-hour set. And then you've obviously got my sound technician who comes with me, runs the show. He runs the lights. You've got... it's basically, I like to call it a mini Las Vegas show for half an hour. And I guarantee that everybody's going to be talking about it afterwards. And like I said, it just goes down a treat. So yeah, you're talking £250, and then obviously deposits or travel fee. But yeah, and like I said, it goes down really well, and everybody seems to enjoy it and have a lot of fun. In terms of the drinks reception, you're sort of talking about a 2-hour set. You're talking about 400.
Okay,
for that.
That's good enough, and that certainly will keep people entertained for a long time. It's good value. It definitely is. Now, I'm going to ask you to email me this information I'm going to ask you for now, and I'll attach it to the both the YouTube and the podcast. But how do people get hold of you? What's the best way to get hold of you?
Best way is just probably through the socials, Instagram, Facebook, well, email. Everything is on my socials. At the minute, I would probably tend to use Instagram a good bit more, but you can reach me on Facebook as well if that's your preference. My number is probably the best way, or email. So just those ways. Just don't be turning up at my house. That would be the only thing I'd say.
No, of course not.
But yeah, you'll be getting my mum getting her slapped here.
No. We're not looking for your address. Don't worry.
That was actually a mistake I made the first time. The first time I tried all this, I had business cards out, and I don't know why. I just, being a bit of an idiot, I put my my address on, and I started this in school. I started singing whenever I was still in school, and a few people got hold of my business cards, and I had people saying that they were going to show up at my house, and 2 people that did show up at my house. So it's one thing that I just don't do anymore.
No, absolutely not. One other wee question, just I was thinking of. Um, do you liaise with brides and grooms as to what your set list is going to be? I mean, can they
Absolutely.
request do you sing certain?
Of course. Yeah. So part of this whole game is making sure that you're versatile. So although the swing would be my first love, I do love it to bits. You've got to be current, you've got to be professional. So I do tend to meet up with brides and grooms a good bit before their wedding, just for coffee or whatever, or just even a phone call. But I do like to meet up with people just beforehand to have a bit of a chat, so they can get to know me a bit better. Because if they're parting with 250 quid, they want to I want to make sure that I'm completely available, and I want them to know who I am. So yeah, that's when we'll have a bit of a chat about the day, what time they'll want me there, what songs they want me to do. So if they have particular songs that maybe they met, maybe it's their first song, maybe their first dance, I do quite a bit of them as well. But yeah, maybe if it's a song that they really enjoy, or what I've sort of found as well is parents. So bride and groom, their parents love a certain song. Maybe it was the parents' first dance, and I throw that in a bit as well, and it goes down really well. So yeah, I do take requests, but like I said, it would have to be a good bit before the wedding so I can learn it.
Of course.
But, yeah, so I like to make sure that I'm versatile, and just to make sure that everything is tailored to what they enjoy, because like it's their day, and I could go in and sing a load of songs that a load of people tend to enjoy, but it might not be to their taste. So I like to make sure that I'm versatile, and I can throw in as much as of what they love as possible.
Brilliant, brilliant. And what about travel, Harry? How far do you go?
Anywhere at all. I can, like, I've got my car, so we're actually trading up to getting a van in the next couple of weeks here. So there's just too much stuff. But yeah, so anywhere at all. I've done Dublin. I've been up and down in Dublin a couple of times, which has been great, down in the Carlton Hotel there.
Oh yes.
Oh, beautiful spot. A couple of the Hiltons down there. Where else? Yeah, all just, well, Ballymena, Tully Glass, all them. But yeah, if you have your wedding on the moon, I'll try and get somewhere to get up there.
Excellent. Yes, phone up Mr. Branson and see can you get a.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Try and get him. I'll give him a shout.
Brilliant. That's good. That's good to know that you travel all over the place.
Yeah, sure thing.
That's really good. Okay. Well then, basically, I'm going to throw the same question at you that I throw to everybody.
Yeah.
So you've been doing weddings now for quite a while. So what would your most important piece of advice be to a couple who are trying to arrange their wedding?
Well, probably first of all, don't stress about it. A lot, and that's probably a bit silly to say, but it's that your day is your day, and it's a very important day. But I see so many people, and they're stressing about what they need and what they've got, and people letting them down. But you have to remember that this is a day that you're going to have to enjoy, whether you like it or not. And that's why I like to be at the weddings. I make sure that I'm calm and I'm collected, because if you're calm and collected, everyone else can feel that as well. So yeah, probably don't stress. Get to know the people that you're bringing on, because there's a lot, and this is what I love about this. There's a lot of bride and grooms that fork out a load of money on services or whatever, and they do not know a thing about the person. And it's I like to offer not only my singing and my services, but my personality as well. And that's why I try to make myself readily available, whether it be a phone call or a conversation, a chat, or meeting up for a coffee. Just to make sure that everyone knows who I am. And I like to. I did a wedding there. It was actually in it was in their back garden. It was a beautiful big house, but with everything going on, they lost the deposit. They were originally have it in the Tully Glass, but they lost the deposit, so they couldn't have it anymore, unfortunately. But they did a wonderful job, and they set the the marquee and everything up, and it was fantastic. I was singing, I was doing the whole day. But we met maybe 2 or 3 times before that, and I jotted down everything they wanted and made sure I was completely available and versatile. And one touch that I really, really enjoyed was the groom was actually a guitarist, and he wanted me to perform a song. I can't remember the name of the song, but we met up beforehand, practiced it a bit, and then on the day we performed it, and it was just one of those things. It was such a beautiful moment. So yeah, get to know who you're bringing on, because ask the question, can you do this? Because we're here to help you. And if all we can say is no, or we try our best not to say no, but ask whatever question you want us to do, and as long as it's not taking my clothes off and doing a bit of stripping or something. But most of the time I'm going to try and do it. But yeah, they would be probably the main things I'd advise. Don't stress about it. Ask away and have fun. Just enjoy it.
I always say to clients, there are no stupid questions.
Absolutely.
And the time to ask all the questions is well in advance, so that you've any queries at all, you have the solution, and you're not sitting on the wedding day thinking, oh, I wonder is this going to happen, or I wonder is that going to happen. Because you've already crossed all those things off the list, and what's going to happen. And it just helps people. It really does help them be less stressed and enjoy the day. There's no doubt about it. I'm singing from the same hymn sheet as you are. Definitely, absolutely. It has been a pleasure, Harry. I've totally enjoyed this. I knew it would be.
Yes.
I was really looking forward to this, and
absolutely.
It's a while since I've seen you, and I'm totally in awe of how you have developed and the direction you're going, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's great to hear it. And hopefully our paths will cross again soon.
No doubt they will. No doubt they will, Donald. In this line of business, you can never be too far away from each other.
Well, that's a good thing. It really is a good thing.
Yeah.
I suppose now that you're driving yourself about, your dad doesn't travel with you anymore, does he?
He'll try and come along as most he can. Whether he works for the free food or the free drink, he'll try and get himself there. But my family are really great supporters, and I wouldn't be anywhere without them. So
did your dad actually play at one time?
He did, yeah. I'm sure he managed to squeeze that into the conversation some way. Yeah, no, he did. He was back in the 70s. He played a bit, and but that's probably where my love of music came from. He would do the bars and stuff up in Belfast. So, but yeah, they're great supporters, and I owe a lot to them. And I'm just gonna take it as far as I can.
Yeah, and, I remember him sitting while you were busy doing your thing, and he's sitting there sort of looking bored out in the foyer.
Yeah.
And then I got talking to him and discovered why he was there, and that it all made sense.
Yeah.
He was certainly a very proud dad as well,
Well, that's it.
Very right to be. Yeah. So listen, as I say, Harry, it has been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it.
Indeed. Terrific.
And as I say, I will put all your details on the attached to this, and anybody needs to get in touch with you, it'll be very, very simple how they do it.
Excellent. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, folks, that is the end of this episode of the Wedding Jigsaw podcast. From me until next time, Donald O'Neill, goodbye, and goodbye from Harry.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Donald. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Harry.